Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you. And so, right, for those of you that don't click, clunk, hiss, for those of you that don't follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Tiny Tom Logan, I'm always getting people involved with stuff on there. We have questions about testing that's going on. We have we've just had a poll about this video actually, and I wanted to know what people wanted me to film before Christmas, but just because of the way Christmas happened and all the weather went completely insane and stuff like that, we had some quite bad flooding just down the road from my house, and yeah, anyway, so so it kind of got put off, and today is the 28th. I suppose I should have done it yesterday really, but let's face it, we've all been having kind of times to chill out and stuff, and yesterday I was actually testing something that I'll show you in a minute and watching films. But I asked what you wanted, and you wanted a nose around the office. Now there's still stuff that I can't really talk about and show you too much into, but I'll kind of give you a nose round, and I think a lot of you are going to be quite surprised how small it is, because it's technically only the spare bedroom. Yeah, it's just a spare bedroom. Although when it all gets redone in the new year, it might, well, it should start to look a little bit nicer, and like things like the magic cupboards and stuff are going to be disappearing, and yeah, there's going to be a lot more stuff visually available, and yeah, we'll see whether I like it too much. I'm kind of trying to stop because I've wanted to move for ages, and I'm kind of like on that brink. I know I need a bigger place to work, but I don't want to go and get like a proper office, because of the amount of room that I'd actually need if I went and got a proper office, and I'd know I'd be able to get, it'd have to be safe, and I'd need not only an office, but then if I was going to go that far, I'd want a dedicated place just to film, and then I'd need some probably a room this size just for storage anyway, maybe even more room by the time we factor that my garage is entirely full of cases. So it all gets kind of, mental real quick. So I'm going to try and do as I have been for the last few years and put up with it here. And then, yeah, we'll just see. But anyway, the light's a bit weird because normally I'm at the other end of the room and we have all the lights kind of pointing right at me. But where we need to kind of have a walk around today, I've had to kind of we're just going to have to make do basically. And I'm going to try not to have the camera in my hand too much. But to be fair, with the amount that the tripod was going to have to go up and down and be, repositioned and all that kind of malarkey, I really am going to have to, hold it in my hand a fair bit. What I will try and do is stop the camera at points so I can do things like move case panels and stuff out of the way. And I will try and keep the camera as steady as possible. But if you want a proper look round, then you're going to have it. Now, there is a lot of stuff just outside the door, because it just overflows from the office. I've just got like a pile of boxes of stuff, and ROG this and MSI that and Gigabyte other stuff. But I've got kind of a highlight of stuff in the room at the minute. A lot of people keep asking me, what's your main rig, Tom? And so you'll get a look at Orca today as well. That's actually due for a pretty big revamp. Well, not pretty big really. There's a few things I want to do to it to keep me going until X99. So yeah, we'll have a nose round. Keep your eyes peeled. There is a few things around and about that I'm not going to draw attention to, or I am going to call it stuff that it's not. So don't take some of the stuff too seriously. Like I'll show you now. I've got this case at the side. Just here, and it's the Corsair Obsidian, and it's the One Direction edition. It's Corsair's 1D case, and it's their Obsidian Series D mini PC case, and yeah, it's their kind of Corsair like One Direction so much they've named a case after it. Oh yeah. Anyway, so, right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop the camera because I want to change the lead for the mic, and then I'll walk you around. Right, Okay, so you're up close, you can see I've got a bit of a winter sore here. I can't really do much about that for the minute. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the camera around and then I'm going to turn around on the spot to start off with. And I'll point out some bits and bobs and then we'll go and have a closer look. Right, so just to show you how small the room is, I'm just going to move my chair and sit it underneath my desk. Right, so I'm stood in the middle of my room and it's actually... I think it's about 3 meters square. It's not a massive room, it's really not. People think it's huge and it's not. One cupboard for storage, magic cupboard, we'll get that in a minute. Anyway, Orca, monitors, just normal blinds, very dirty, dusty shade. We come round, TV, 32 inch, anyway we'll get to that in a minute. We come back round. And we're back where we started. The room really isn't that big. Now, we've got, that's my drawer full of tools and stuff. I mean, I'm always using these for opening boxes, and we've got scissors. And is the magic magnetic in there? Yeah, my magic magnetic screwdriver. You can see how shiny this is, and that's how much I use it. It's actually starting to get a bit worn now. I've got more screwdrivers up there. And yeah, that's just kind of my chuck everything in there. I suppose the things that I use the most are the cable cutters, a Phillips screwdriver, and a Stanley knife. And the Stanley knife's just for opening boxes, really. Got scissors and stuff in there. Not really anything exciting. The rest of it's just like boxes of cables and tie wraps and stuff. And I do tend to keep a lot of it. There's a lot of gumph and crap in the bottom. When I sort the office out, a lot of that will go. I do have, as everyone does, a box full of screws. There's anything that's left over I chuck in there, so we've got stuff for, and it does happen quite a lot, cases turn up without stuff. And we've got one of the CPU boxes. I'll say one because I had to separate them out. Is there more in this one? Yeah, there's a load more in this one. And yeah, the thing is though, is I tend to not like showing people stuff, which is why I'm not going to open the magic cupboards, because people kind of see that and they're like, oh, you must give it to us, you have too much. But in this job, you need stuff to kind of grab hold of and use. And I don't keep hold of it because I'm greedy or anything, it's my job now. So the stuff that I get to keep, they don't give it to me so that I can give it away to other people and it never be seen again. I've got it because it means I can use it in future videos and future reviews and all kinds of stuff. And if we just think about, you know, looking at the room at the minute, we've got the TNR rig, which is my racing rig, but we've been using it for so many other benchmarks and stuff. I've probably played an hour on it. And then we've got, this is the 2011 test rig, which is what we test all of the graphics cards in. Now the cases and stuff change occasionally, and like the red bits aren't on the top of this at the minute because they're in the top of that. And so we've got that rig, but then when I test motherboards, I don't want to be stripping that rig down all the time because it's just a waste of time. So I do actually have another rig that we just put the at the moment the Haswell motherboards in and out of it on, and then I've also got another smaller one for M80X, and there's an ITX rig as well, and it's just to save time, and it's so that we can go bosh bish, because otherwise you end up rebuilding stuff so often. I mean, I've got to do some water cool testing soon, and that's going to be a complete mare. Case testing is another difficult one. We've got a selection of kit for case testing, which gets transplanted from one case to the next and to the next, and you need to think about, we need to kind of use our time wisely, really. So there are several rigs about, but also for special little projects and stuff, for argument's sake, like when an ITX case comes in, we need to have an ITX motherboard about, and at the moment we do have a choice of two, but it's just the manufacturers, we do give a lot of stuff away. We give full systems away, like that down there is just been built, and that's a system that we're going to be giving away. I obviously spend a lot of time and money giving you custom cases to give away, like the umbrella competition case. In fact, what we should do is we'll click this because we can go to it. all comes out of my pocket, not the business pocket, that's my personal pocket. And I do this just because I like doing it, and give that, you know, to you guys to give away as a prize, and a Kendrick for anyone asks. Bit of a crush. So we do give away a lot of stuff, and I can understand that you guys, you know, when you kind of see stuff like this, and, you know, if you got to see in the magic cupboards and stuff, you'd be like, oh, you must give it away, Tom. But you need to kind of remember, if I give all this stuff away, then they won't let me keep it next time. And if they don't let me keep it, that means less videos. So that's the best way I can kind of explain it. I get to keep my hands on all this stuff, because I'm not like everybody else, and I don't just sell it on, you know, or, you know, and that's why I do a lot of work, is so that I do get, you know, to do this sort of stuff for you, and do comparisons and stuff. And yeah, you will see, yeah, if you haven't already. But anyway, so I don't want to keep going on about it. So yeah, please don't start asking for gazillions of giveaways, peeps, because just because we've got it doesn't mean, at the end of the day, if I give it all away to you, then that just means that in a few months' time you won't get any more videos from me. Anyway, so we'll come back round to kind of the monitors bit. My keyboard is minging. I've got another one to replace it with while it gets cleaned. But anyway, I've got 3 Benk 1920 by 1080 sort of HD monitors. They're adjustable, they go up and down, they go side to side. It's I found white ones that I liked, and that's it. I have looked at getting the 2560 by 1440 cat leaps, but even with the pixel perfect thing, they make me nervous. So I'm hoping that Asus are going to take a hint, because I've asked a few times. I've got the 278Q, that's a 2560 by 1440 monitor that we use in the graphics cards reviews, because obviously we can go that a little bit further up. You can pick a 2560 by 1440 monitor up much cheaper than you can any of the 4K ones, so we think this is kind of more of an accessible high res. And if they brought out a white version of that, I would instantly be on it. But I've also got Edifier speakers, again, because they were white. They were actually a gift from a mate of mine at Case King, because they don't sell them in the UK, or they didn't sell them in the UK when I wanted them. So they shipped me some over, and they weren't like a distributor or anything, so that they it was pretty much a, there you go, Tom, thank you very much. And I was like, nice one, boys. Anyway, HD webcam, I've done some of the videos on YouTube with that, like when I've just sat in front of the computer. White Corsair M65, do like that. My DSLR doesn't film, so before people say, why don't you use your DSLR? And anyway, DSLRs overheat, they won't let you film for too long. Some are 15 minutes, some of the really expensive ones can go up to 30, but essentially they do get really, really warm. So that's just, that one just takes pictures. It's an older one, it's an A350 from Sony. I've got, you know, various lenses and stuff, but to be fair, I just use that one that's on there for when I'm doing the website photography. It's a 3.5 to 5.6, 18 to 70. It works, it does the job, can't really argue, really. We go underneath the desk and you can see the sub, but we've also got visible are a lot of cables, but there we go. This is my CyberPower UPS. I've got one there, that's what Orca and one of the monitors is on, so if there's ever a power outage or anything like that, it's protected, surge protected and all that kind of fandango. And one of the monitors, so I can always shut down if I'm mid-render or something. But considering the price, I'd say that they really are worth having. We've got my Netgear router. It is just used as a router, it's a cable router. And then also a Netgear 16-port switch. I'm not using many of the ports at the minute, but that's where my cable comes in, because I'm on local fibre. I've got 120, which for the Isle of Wight is mental. Anyway, so yes, we have the my Netgear and my Netgear. This one will be getting replaced when I get the new office sorted out, but they're just stuck to the side. And right, Orca baby. I'm surprised if people haven't seen Orca. There's a total, because I've got push-pull rad in the front, 360, a push-pull rad in the roof. It's all done for looks. And considering that there's 6 fans on the front rad, 6 fans on the roof rad, another air intake at the back, it's mightily quiet. Mightily quiet. It's a CM Stormtrooper, for those of you that don't know. Actually looks like I could do with over and over again, to be fair, but anyway. Power switch went, and I put my mum's plaque there instead. Day was she born, day she died, that kind of thing. I've done the roof mod on it. As per my videos, I opened it all out. Because obviously you'd have a big handle here, bit here normally, and I don't use the handle. Although to be fair, I have picked it up with this in the past. I'm trying to put this back in with one hand. But if you turn the handle round, it holds itself in. Ta-da! But yeah, we've got a 360 in the roof. 2 480GB Corsair Force GTs in the side. I did all the black around here by hand. It's not, you know what I mean, it's not an amazing mod by any kind of stretch of the imagination, but it keeps me happy. Anyway, what we're going to do, notice I've got the badge on it. I've not decided whether I'm going to keep it there or not. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll pop the side off. And then we'll have a look. Now, coolant's not looking too bad in this light, but it is what I call hot chocolate. It's got a brownie colour. It went brown within 2 or 3 weeks after me putting it in, but anyway, we won't go across that. Anyway, this is going to be getting changed. I've got the NZXT cable braided lights, and they kind of go all the way around. Now, for a CM Stormtrooper, what you'll notice is I've got rid of all my drive bays here, but the bit of metal is actually still at the top. You can see it here, look, because I cut it all. Again, not an amazing mod, but it did the job, and that was just so I could keep some of the rigidity there, because that's obviously like a brace and it stops the case twisting. But I opened it all up. I've got a false panel in the back, a false flooring. That's a D5. It's actually running on number 2, so it's stupidly quiet. And I've tried to hide the hose as much as I can. Really, the only 2 huge visible bits of hose are this, because it goes around my sound card, and this bit up here, which goes from that. But there is a bit of hose that runs right the way behind that radiator up. You can see it just there going into a connector. It goes around the radiator and then it goes back up and in. To bleed, it was an absolute fucking nightmare. To drain it all so I can change this coolant, I'm going to redo all the hose and everything as well. It quite literally is an all-out job, and it will be a complete strip-down rebuild. May change the SP120s to LED fans just for looks. The 6 fans at the top are wired into 1 fan speed reducer, and then it goes into 1 Molex at 12 volts. So it's 12 volts fan speed reducer, splits out to 6 fans. So these fans really don't spin very fast. Look. You don't spin very fast at all. But a bit dusty too. But then again, I've been using that for what, 8 months, 10 months? But considering how fast they spin, the maximum CPU temp that I get is about 70, 72 with OCCT. When I'm rendering, it's about 58, 60. So considering the low fan speeds, I'm more than happy with it. I've built it to be quiet really, and the only reason why I went for push-pull, like I said, was just for looks. I wanted the fan rings and stuff on the inside just to add bits of flashes of white really. Anyway, it's full coolants, water blocks, the 2 7970s, there's a 3970X underneath there, 4.8 gigahertz, memory is running at 2400 megahertz. The memory is 2666, 16 gigabytes, that's a monstrous price kit. But yeah, 2666 at 1.65 volts, but I've got it running at 2400 at 1.5 volts, and it's also running the memory timings for an 1866 kit. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is now. But anyway, so the timings didn't really matter so much, but the actual voltage being at 1.5 for a 2400 megahertz, I was more than happy with. So yeah, it is starting to show signs of a bit of dust now, but like I said, it has been running for a long time. There's no extra dust filters in the front. It's just the normal case one, so it's done really well, especially where it's on so much. It's on pretty much 6 days a week for at least kind of 12, 14 hours. So yeah, that's my sit by the side of rig. It's a workstation really, because I've never really gamed on it. I've never really been much of a gamer. I'm about the hardware and chasing numbers more than anything else. But I do always have liked to make something look pretty. And this for me was just about having a kind of something that I could say was for my mum and a memorial for my mum. So I'll be quite happy when it does come to... There we go. I'll pause because the light went dark. Yeah, I was really happy that I got a chance to do it finally, because I've not built myself anything that in depth for ages, and it's not the most amazing mod in the world. I don't claim it to be like epic. I did it for me. I did it in the name of my mum. I'm happy with it. Yeah, that's cool. I would like to have more time to do other stuff, but I seem to spend more time bugging around doing stuff like the grid rig, which is hidden in there for you guys. If I spent the time that I did do, and while we're talking about it, I'm going to show you these two things. I've hidden them purposely, but this is a design. It's the grid design, but we've changed the colours on it because I'm going to be stealing the design from a home server, and that's it's red, but then we're going to put some reflective vinyl over the top so it catches the light, real low light, so it will glitter and ping and pop in low light, which should be quite cool. And this is the Borg design that we did, and you can see how fucking mental that design is when you see it on paper. But what we've essentially done is we've changed the green for red, and this is the design for my white 540, because the white 540 I'm going to be using as one of my bench rigs. So we've got the Corsair 750D there at the moment with the 2011 rig in it. We're going to be changing over so that not the 2011 rig, but the motherboard rig, we're going to start using, or the second rig that I have as a daily, as a bench. I've moved away from tables and gone to cases again for a bit, just to make a change. The white 540 Air is going to be getting customed up, so that it's not just a white case, it's got a little bit of a flash on it, and we have got some logos going on there and stuff. So yes, so that's a couple of things that are coming up in progress at the minute, that type of thing. I've already shown you the umbrella case, which will be coming soon, given away soon rather. Right, TV in the office. I'm just going to grab the remote from the top. I put the TV on a lot because I'm here quite on my own quite a lot, so it's nice to have set something. Even if I'm talking to people on Skype, I often have a film just on in the background for company, and I use Plex. And Plex is on the home server down there, which I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, Plex. I've got my TV shows that I watch. Obviously, Big Bang Theory. Quite into NCIS as well. Gotta love Jeffro. Music I don't really use in here so much, but in the front room it's good. Movies. Now I love Plex because it's all done with the remote. So if we went to all movies, oh hang on, no, wrong button, there we go, all movies. And it downloads all the gump for you. All I've done is I've got a film for music, a folder for music, a folder for TV shows, and a folder for films, and I've pointed Plex at it, and it goes and it downloads all the synopsis and the icons and everything for you, and then you've just got that nice UI that you use with your TV remote. It's fucking brilliant. I love it. Makes my life so much easier. So there's that. So that's in the office. That's a Samsung, it's a white 6 series, full HD. I bought it because it was white. I've got the 46-inch in the front room as well, completely matching. And then I've got another white 32-inch, slightly newer one at the end of my bed. All linked up to Plex. My phone's got Plex as well. So when I'm away staying at hotels, or if I go to a friend's house, I just take my phone and I've got a mini USB to HDMI, go around to a friend's house, hook up to their Wi-Fi, press play on the film that I want to watch, put it into the telly, boom, it streams it, lovely jubbly. Never have to carry a DVD with me again. So the GPU bench rig, I'm sat down now. If you have a look, I've got one of the ROG things at the bottom. That's probably one of the best places I've found to put one of the things. And yes, I have got a lot of them, because we've got one there, and I also, just for the hell of it, if you notice, I put one on the other side of the door of Orca. You'll see some stuff going on with that soon. Anyway, so that's the 2011 GPU bench rig. That's just the rig that we've used for graphics cards for ages. We tend to not try to change the kit too much, because obviously if we went onto a different CPU or something, the results, we wouldn't really be able to compare them very well. It did change from a 3960X to a 3930K, but it's running the exact same core clock and everything like that, and it made no difference to the benchmarks whatsoever. So that's the only minor change that it had. The only reason why we went to a 3930K is we had the CPU was in another motherboard doing some heatsink testing at one point, and I won't say what one it was, but a motherboard let go, and it took the CPU with it, which obviously wasn't handy at all, which is one of the main reasons why you've not seen many heatsink reviews from me recently, because it all just went tits up, and anyway, so we've got the 3930K in that. We've got the Neutron there, that's the OS drive and where all the benchmarks are stored on, and then we've got the LS, which is where Steam, Origin and Uplay is on, so all the games are on the other drive, so it just separates them out nice. People say, why didn't I RAID them? Well, they don't match for starters, and if one dies, then I've still got all the installs and everything on the other one. So there we've got it. In the rig at the minute, which I've just finished testing, is the Asus 290X DCU2. And I will say, it's very quiet. And that's as much as I'm going to say. All the testing's done. The reviews are mid-flow at the moment, as in the tappity, the right inside of it. Once that's all done, then what I do is then I go back and I make all the video again. So it's quite an extended thing. It can take a fair few days to get it all done, tested, written up, gone back, made videos. Essentially making videos just pretty much doubles my workload. It's a bit of a pain in the butt cheeks, but the things I do for you lot. And then we have my power supply tester. Dang, dang, dang! I watched Crudes the other night. I pissed myself with belt. Keep doing that. Dun, dun, dun! Anyway, so power supply tester. It came quite a few months ago, and to be fair, it's been one of those things. It scares the shit out of me, and it's something that I've just been reading. In my spare time and on my phone and stuff. Keep reading and learning bits and bobs, and it's mainly because with power supplies, when you get a tester like this, the other guys know their shit, and I mean they really know their shit. And because of the YouTube channel and the website and stuff, quite a few people know who I am. Not going to say, much more than that, but people, they kind of expect me to know the ins and outs of everything. And this is something that I am a complete beginner on. And when I do start making the videos, I'm going to be making them as I'm going to be, we're going to be learning together, and I'm going to have to start off with the basics. But it's a scary thing for me, and there's a lot that I needed to learn before I should even be plumbing numbers in there. Luckily, I did have Johnny Guru on hand to answer questions and to help me get things set up, and he did even come over to see me to teach me the basics, which is how I got going in the first place. But we will be doing, you can see the RM1000 there. I am going to be doing an RM review, and you can also see up here I've got each one of their cable colours. So we've got red, black, white. There's the gunmetal grey there, which I personally fucking love. The blue, which has changed colour, and their new green, it's very lime green as well. You can see that's well bright. It looks brighter on the camera from what I can see anyway. Also down the back, you can see the other power supplies that I've been playing around with, although there are quite a few of them here. They're just the ones I put there. And I am hoping that we're going to be bringing this back out, because I never did get rid of it, which is the shitty Thortec, and that thing's, oh, ate it. And that's the laptop that I run the power supply tester on. It's one that I got off of Asus ages ago. It was meant to be like a temp loan thing because my laptop went west, and it's ended up staying around, and it's the permanent thing for the power supply tester now. So we've got that type of stuff coming up in the not too distant future. The server, I wonder if I can get the, let me just stop the camera quick and I'll see if I can get the side off quickly. Right then, so the home server, as you can see, I've got 6 2TB Western Digital Greens there. I've got an Adaptec 51245, I think it is. It's a 16 port RAID card basically. And then there's a Gigabyte Z68 motherboard, all kind of hiding at the back. It's the UD3H, I do believe. Noctua, I think it's the L12 120mm cooler. It's the face down one, but the not the C type, it's the L one. It's all real quiet. It's all Noctua fan. It's very dusty because that literally is on 24/7. I turn it off maybe once a month for a bit. I hoover the fan filters and stuff, but I've never really cleaned it like avidly. I just kind of leave it and let it get on with it. So it is a bit dusty, but not too minging dirty. Anyway, there's a 400 watt passive power supply in the bottom. There's no graphics card in it I use on board. Some white out low profile Corsair memory in there. Little 40GB solid state drive from back when people still made 40GB ones, because it's only running server, is it 2010 R2? 2000, yeah, it must be. No, 2008 R2, sorry. And yeah, it is mega quiet. All those 6 drives are running at the minute. All the fans are on. And I can barely hear it. Once the door's on, it's in a Fractal R3. Once the door's on, the rest of the room has to be completely silent and everything be off for you to be able to hear it. It will be getting replaced with Nanoxia, and that was the design that you saw earlier. This will be getting replaced with that. Going on to Haswell i3, and I've got a new RAID card which is 16 ports again, but it's 12 gigabits a second per port because it's built for SAS solid state drives. So there'll be no 6 gigabit a second bottlenecking. It's stupid silly. I might make a quick, have a laugh video with it, but yeah, it's essentially I'm just upgrading the storage and everything. I'm going to be putting 3TB Western Digital Greens in there, and there will be 8 this time rather than 6. The RAID array that I run in that across those 6 drives is a RAID 6. And there's 9.2 terabytes of total storage, well, usable storage space across that array. And the drives never really get warm, even though they're on all the time. They're actually kind of cold to the touch. And like I said, that runs 24/7. It's hidden away at the back of the office, and that feeds my Plex. It's a storage server. I've got some cloud software on it, so I can access it, when I'm away. So yeah, it's not what the website runs on. The website's run on a fucking stupid spec server, but anyway. Little brother network printer. It's an Ethernet printer. It's not very good. It does its job. I can scan on it. I can print. They're not amazing prints. It's not a photo printer or anything like that, but I only really print labels and the odd thing that I'm trying to get my head around stuff. And also printing pages for PDFs when I'm making videos. So yeah, Other thing, TNR, that is meant to live in the front room on my racing rig, but when I do the office I've got to take the racing rig apart, because that's where the racing rig is at the minute, that's where my temporary office setup needs to go. So that's all going to end up going up in the loft for a bit, but I've got some videos that I'm going to be making with TNR, and if I open the door, I need to change that mesh. There is underneath the red Corsair Vengeance Pro memory, that's an MSI Gaming 780, GD65 Gaming at the back. They're 4 of the Corsair Force GT 60 gigabytes. They're in RAID 0, and that stand is something that I got. I drew on a bit of paper, and then I give it to the boys at Parvum, and they de-stupidized it, whatever you want to call it, and they made my kind of stupid spacky pencil drawn idea a reality, and I really like that. It really shows those drives off nice. I need to get some new stickers and spin the stickers around so it looks nicer. But AF 120s in the front, AF 140 in the back blowing in, and then I've got a H100i in the roof, and it's on Corsair SP 120 Quiet Editions. Corsair red braided cables, and it's all on a AX 760i. I have done the overclocking on the because in it is a 4670K retail CPU, and it does 4.6 gigahertz, 1.2 volts dead, 100% stable. When I built it, I even showed you how I did it. So go and find the TNR live build if you want to see that, because this whole rig was built live. We did a live stream, and I got drunk, and it was kind of funny. The monitor that's there at the minute is an old Yamaha. These are all due to get replaced. I've got 3 of these in the office, but the colour difference between that and the Asus IPS on that is just so different. It's unreal. So generally these only get used for like diagnostics and stuff at the minute. It's handy to have, spare monitors, but we're going to be upgrading to some better ones, and I don't know what we'll do with those then, but there's another one up there, and there's another one in the front room. Oh look, you can see Henry, and there's another Henry on my desk as well. It's my bad pen holder. So yeah, that there is the Magic Cupboard. It's full up kit. That one's full up kit as well, and there's more kit outside. Like I said, I don't want to show you, because not only do people start grovelling and say, "Oh, you got to do a giveaway. You shouldn't be so selfish." And yeah, right, okay. But also, then the other websites and stuff see it, and they start giving the vendors shit that I've got it. So the politics in this industry is crazy. But anyway, so let me. I'm going to clip you back up on the tripod, I think. Okay then, so you've had a basic look around the office. Hope I've not got anyone's back up talking about like not wanting to show the kit off. I don't want it to be seen like I'm trying to show off, because this stuff it's work for me. I understand you guys are all like enthusiasts and you love all this stuff and you love to get your hands on it. And to be fair, I was like that as well. But now for me, it's just, I see it as the way I make videos and reviews and content really to share with you guys. So I do give away as much as I can, but to be fair, and this is another thing that people don't realise, is anything I do give away, it's always new stuff. I don't give away old review stuff, old review cases or anything like that. Like the board case was a brand new case. The stuff that we did for the umbrella case, the power supply, the cooler, that case was all got from NZXT directly. The case that's down here to the left of me, the full system that we're going to be giving away in the new year, all of that is brand new. I prefer to give away that brand new stuff, because there's a lot of other things that people don't seem to realise is with competition prizes, if it breaks, it breaks. There is no RMA on it. So I don't want to give away something I've thrashed the bollocks out of, because that's my job, is to try and get the most out of stuff. So we prefer to give away stuff that's all brand new, and then it makes me feel a little bit better about doing it. So yeah, that is my humble office, which is going to be changing shortly. All the blues going, we're going grey to try and make changes with the videos. The cupboards are going, and we've got desks, worktops going right the way around, because these have been here for what, 4 years now. It's been a long time. 2014, so good 3 solid years use that they've had, because I moved in here in 2010, I think. So we're going real dark brown work surface. So there'll be a fair bit of contrast when the lights are on, because the lights are actually quite bright when you've got them positioned properly. And they'll be going all the way around. There's going to be a permanent, well, pretty much permanent testing station for the power supply tester. And I'm hoping that we're going to have, you know, it'll make things easier for me to be able to work. I'm also going to be moving where my desk is. And the idea is that I'm going to be able to have more room, so I'll be able to have a place where I can make the videos, a place where I've got something being tested, and then I've still got room to be able to put stuff together and build stuff as well. It does mean that a lot of the stuff is going to end up on shelves out on the walls, which I'm not too sure about, to be fair, because I like having the kit hidden away. So yeah, we'll see anyway. We'll see what happens. I'm going to give it a go for, you know, till the summer or whatever, and then if I end up having to get a proper office to do it, then I might just bite the bullet. But I like the fact that I can kind of just go and do what I want when I want. So some days I work late, some days I work all bloody day, and some days, you know, I'm in here really early. But if I actually have to go out and go to work because I know I'm going to have deliveries and stuff, it could be a little bit kind of, ooh, I don't know. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff coming in the new year. We've got a lot to do. I've got the Asus Poseidon graphics card I need to do, which means water cooling. I'm also going to be doing the NZXT G10, so the AOO kind of bracket to put on your graphics cards. And we're going to be doing that versus dedicated water cooling. So that could be quite interesting. So yeah, there's a fair, you know, that type of stuff. The fact that we have to do the AIO versus the custom water cooling. People think, oh, that's all right, you should have that done in a day. And when we have to build a rig and photo it and do all the videoing and all the testing, and then we have to start again, but we have to take it all apart, do all the photos, build it all, more photos, more videoing, more testing, and then I have to go away and do all the write-up and everything, and then I have to go back and do the introduction and the conclusion. So it's not like an afternoon's work. That project alone, that little thing, will probably take me from start to finish 3 to 4 days, depending on how late I work. So, you know, it does take a lot of time to do stuff properly. You can't do it quickly. Obviously I can build a rig quickly when I've just got cameras running, but when you've actually got to keep stopping and, you know, film you putting it together, get it all put in. And another thing with the custom water cooling as well is going to be the hosing it all up, blocking it all up, make sure that it all looks good. Cheers mate, my phone's finished charging. And then I've got to leak test it, then I've got to flipping bleed it all out. It does end up taking a lot of time, and like to go from doing that custom rig to then going over to doing, say for instance at the Asus Poseidon, I've then got to drain it all out, get all the coolant back out of it, and I never end up using bleed valves because I prefer it to look tidy, so it's a pain in the arse to get the coolant out of it. Drain it all out, get it all fitted back in, then you're starting again. You know, you have to bleed it all out, and oh yeah, it ends up turning into a nightmare. But that's my chosen, no, it's not my chosen vocation, it's the vocation that chose me. But don't worry, I know how lucky I am. So yes, hopefully you will have enjoyed this video. It'll also mean that when we do the first video back, when the office is back together, you'll get to see the difference as well. And also you've seen Orca again before we change her as well, because I'm going to be changing over to an XSPC Photon glass reservoir, going red coolant in that. I'm probably going to go rigid hose as well, but rather than the bending I'm going to use the Bits Power junction, so it'll all look quite industrial. It mean I'll get to get a bit more white in there to break up the red hosing. I think that will be better. I've not quite got my head around exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but once it's here and I can start chopping stuff up, I'll crack on with it. But it does mean, like I said, it's an all-out job. Rinse and clean everything, get rid of the hot chocolate that's in it, choosing my words carefully there, and then I'll be putting the blood red stuff in, which is here. and it's XSPC blood red, and that's what I'm going to be using. So yes, that's going to be happening in the new year, hopefully. I want to get it done quite quickly because I don't want it to be getting taken apart too close to X99. I actually want to get it done so I can actually have a good few months use on it with it red before I end up decommissioning her. But it'll be a few months after X99 by the time I've got the reviews out the way and I've got extra stuff. So, excuse me, hopefully that'll be good. So yeah, I think that's about it. If you've got any questions, then post on the forums. It's much easier for me to follow questions and stuff on the forums. This new YouTube commenting bollocks actually does my fucking head in. Hate it. Maybe I just need to get used to it, but at the moment I'm very much in the I don't fucking like it stage. But we'll see if that changes. I should have shown you the raid card, because the Adaptec raid card's hidden up there. It was in the brown box near Henry. And I suppose I could have shown you other stuff around the flat, but I don't want to. The only interesting stuff I've got around the flat is my model cars, because I've got a lot of model cars underneath my TV in the front room, which will soon be going in a big glass cabinet. And I've got some funky artwork in the hallway just outside the door, and some stuff in my bedroom. But the artwork in the bedroom's canvas, and the stuff in the hallway is actually metal, and it's painted on metal, and it's like different panels. But maybe we'll save that for another time, because we've been here for fucking ages anyway. This video's about the same length as about 8 of Linus's videos, I think, isn't it? Or at least 4. At least 4. Let's be nice. At least 4, because I talk too much and we all know it. Anyway, so I'm going to love you and leave you. Hopefully I've given you enough of a tiny little insight into my office stroke man cave stroke prison. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm actually going to turn the camera off with my finger for a change rather than the remote. Actually, no, let's not break the tradition. Let's turn it off this way.